the pandemic hit and businesses closed, a weekly federal unemployment check helped millions of Americans survive. Now, the fight in Congress as lawmakers grapple with a decision that could change the lives of so many people already on the brink. Here's ABC's Mary Bruce.
This is the longest I've been unemployed. It's been over 4 months now. And this $600 lifeline helps us, and it helps us pay into the economy as well to keep things afloat.
Scott Steginga is one of the millions of Americans grateful for an extra $600 a week to help make ends meet.
It was a great lifeline for us to pay some bills that couldn't be reduced. There's a huge middle class sector like us that need that to get by.
Laid off from his job at an online advertising company at the end of March when coronavirus hit hard, and living in the state with the second highest unemployment rate in the country, Steginga says his main focus has been trying to figure out how to support his family.
We've applied for so many assistance groups. I'd say we've exhausted pretty much every option for assistance that we can.
We are approaching our food bank that we go to.
Even forced to pick up necessities from 3 different food banks every week.
So I'm at my next food bank, my second one for today.
So you may be wondering, why does a middle-class family need to visit a food bank?
So we still had to pay rent to keep a roof over our heads, and we had to pay some other utility bills, but then we wondered how we would do our food bills. And we've got our food.
This weekend will be the last time the Stegingas receive that additional $600 payment. The emergency assistance is set to expire after lawmakers in Washington failed to reach an agreement today.
All right, thank you all.
When Congress passed and the president signed the CARES Act in March, a $600 weekly bonus was provided to people who were jobless. Because unemployment benefits vary greatly across the country, the $600 was added to the compensation from your state. In New Jersey, where the maximum payout is $713, you could receive as much as $1,313 every week. In Florida, only $875. In Colorado, $1,218. And in Louisiana, $847. In New Orleans, Cindy Moffitt says she relies on that money.
$600 is important to a lot of households, especially to my household that cannot go back to work.
Everyone agrees that the economy battered by the pandemic needs more help.
The economy took a hit like we have never seen before. Faster, deeper than anything that has come before. Worse than the worst year of the Great Depression.
Tonight, with 25 states and Puerto Rico either pausing or reversing reopening plans, unprecedented levels of uncertainty about when the economy will recover and people can go back to work. 1 in 5 workers, more than 30 million people, are still off the job. But Washington is divided over whether to continue these payments. Senate Republicans think that $600 is too much, that it discourages people from going back to work, pointing out that with this added benefit, some Americans are bringing in more money now than they would if they were working.
We can't give people a disincentive to go back to work. We'll never recover from this if we're all at home watching Netflix.
At this point, I would not support something that would pay on unemployment more than you would earn if you were working.
The Treasury Secretary today suggested they lower the payment to 70% of a worker's wages before they were laid off.
If you were making $300, you're not going to get $600 this time, and that's fair. People understand that.
Republicans were expected to outline their plan today, but the party is still debating. What do you say to Americans who are concerned that without any additional federal funding, they're really going to suffer?
We've talked about adding $200 per week into our proposal. And so with that, if it's 200 rather than 600, at least it gives them 200 more over and on top of what they're going to get for their under their state unemployment benefits.
Not surprisingly,
we have to act and what they're proposing falls far short.
Democrats disagree with Republicans. They've put forth their own plan to extend the full $600 payments until January.
Republicans say that $600 is simply too high.
Republicans have so little faith. They have this image of working people as just sort of lazy. No, they're the people who are actually keeping the rest of us going. It's just more than appalling to me. So I take every opportunity to I want to say whack them on the side of the head. I wish I could.
Democrats say Republicans are out of touch and out of time.
That money is probably the difference between their kids eating and not eating, them falling even further behind on their rent or their mortgage payments. Americans are in desperate need right now, and we need to make sure that we provide them with the resources so that they can recover. Because if we don't do that, our economy will never recover.
What kind of an impact do you think it will have if Americans all of a sudden aren't getting that check?
That check is saving so many of our working families right now. Many of them, if they're on unemployment insurance, now no longer have health insurance through their employers. That just covers their health insurance, let alone the mortgage or the bills. We are going to see families really struggling and kids going hungry if we don't make sure that that $600 payment remains within the unemployment insurance.
Republicans now say they'll introduce their plan next week, but even that will just be a jumping-off point for future negotiations.
When the unemployment rate is still in double digits and we're facing a problem like we've never faced, it's not the moment to figure out how do we cut off relief. It's critical that we maintain relief to people.
The more Washington debates and the more time passes, the more Scott Steginga's worries grow.
It's going to be hard after the next month or so.
He doesn't want much, just the basic American dream.
I want to protect my family. I want to make sure that they have a roof over their head and food on the table, and they can live a happy and healthy life.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.